So for today, the plan is to go ahead and do a cleanup mow in the front yard. You might call that a charity mow. Some people might call that a charity mow. Clean up the front yard and mow the backyard. This will be the first time I've mowed in a week. The grass is growing a lot slower now that temperatures are coming down, so I only mow once a week now, which is kind of nice. Clean up, mow in the front, mow in the back. This will be the first time I've mowed since aerating last weekend. So there's still cores on the ground, and we'll just be mowing over those. If any of them get caught up in the deck, they'll just get mulched up, they'll break down and go back, work their way back into the soil. So we'll go ahead and mow and then take care of a couple other things around the house today. So kind of an easy day today, not really a whole lot on the to-do list, just cleaning things up, getting things ready. I leave for GIE in a couple days, so I just want to make sure everything's done while I'm gone so there's less to worry about. So with that, let's get after it. So since it's getting colder and it's freezing overnight, this is what I have to do to clear out my sprinkler lines. So this is where the secondary water from the city comes in to my supply for the sprinklers here. So there's just a main valve here. If I turn this on, the water will come in from the city into my system. There's a filter here, and this is where I take care of blowing out my lines. All I do is I unscrew this cap, and it's important to understand that when you turn this off, there's still going to be pressure in your lines, and there's still going to be a little pressure in this filter. So you may want to run a zone or two, preferably the zone that you're working with in this area. So for me, this would be zone 1, and just clear out that pressure so when you take this off, you're not getting sprayed in the face or anything. Yes, that's happened before. And then what I have here is just a 3/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, which then becomes threaded and 90s into a chuck for the air compressor. I talked about this in my video last year. Again, I'll put a link and you can see how I made this. This was modified a little bit since, just to make it turn to a 90 so it's a little more accessible. So what I do then is just go ahead and connect that to the filter, and then I can connect the compressor to that and blow air through the pipes. The fountain was really a lot easier this year. I did mention last year that I was going to be making some adjustments and improvements to this, and I did. Having this ball valve here made it a lot easier to release all of the water from the main section into the basin. So what I did to make pumping the water out of the basin so it doesn't freeze easier, I went to Home Depot, and for 68 cents, that's it, 68 cents, I got a 1/2 inch barb to a 3/4 inch male adapter. So I could hook this up to the pump, the 1/2 inch line that comes from the pump, and then hook this up to my garden hose and redirect that water as it's being pumped out wherever I needed to. And then any excess water that the pump just couldn't reach, I just used my wet dry shop vac to get any excess water out of the basin. One last thing that I want to get done today is finish planting these leftover bulbs that I have here. I have the card somewhere. So these are called paper whites. They look like this. Those will look pretty, and they're spring blooming. So we will get the bulbs in the ground now and look forward to those coming up in the spring. So to plant these bulbs, I'm gonna use the Pro Plugger tool. If you haven't seen this yet, it's really neat. It's just hollow on the bottom, but it kind of comes to a more of a thinner shape at the bottom. So when you make a plug, all your plugs will stay inside the tube, and then you can just flip it over to get the plugs out. So it's great for planting bulbs like this, or if you're plugging grass in your yard, multi-purpose for sure. I really like using it, and it works really well. This is another area right here along the side of the driveway that I used the Pro Plugger, and it worked out really nice in these thin spaces between the concrete and the rocks. It was really easy to get it in there and plant over 100 tulip bulbs all the way down the side of my driveway. So really looking forward to those coming up in spring too. Alright, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for me today. Nice to get those things done and just kind of clean things up a little bit before we start getting to the point where we just can't come out here until spring. So still have a few more things to do, and not a real big deal there. They'll get done eventually. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of the day. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.